All right, if you didn't hear the news last night, Errol Spence is mandatory. Qdoba, I can't pronounce his last name. He lost to Cody Crowley. Cody Crowley is a Canadian who moved to Las Vegas and sparred 150 rounds with Floyd between the McGregor and Manny Pacquiao fights. And I saw a little bit of the Cody Crowley fight. I didn't see the whole thing with Qdoba. But Qdoba did knock him down. But he got up and, before the knockdown, after the knockdown, what I saw, he got up and he was determined, man. He was a dude on a mission. I believe he's trained by Hasim Rahman's brother. And he was on a mission, bro. And, when you aggressive like that, you susceptible to get knocked down. Especially early when you kind of cold still. Especially if you ain't warmed up the right way and you ain't lathered up. And Cody, to me, last night looked a little bit dry on my little phone because my power out, man, because of the wind. So I'm waiting for them to turn it back on. So hopefully it's sooner than later. But if not, I'm going to find a way to get these videos. But Terence Crawford asked them to do this. He said to the IBF USA Box, can y'all make me the mandatory at 47 so I can see something? So he asked to be Errol Spence's mandatory, right? But people saying, well, like Deuce on Twitter saying that, well, he had a chance to be his mandatory. But people got to understand, if you read the rule books before speaking and tweeting, read the rule books. If you read them, all these rules are subjective to the sanction box. So if people say, well, you can move up and be the mandatory for any of the belts, that's not true. That is not true. You can't move up and just be Charlo's mandatory. It's all subjective to a vote for most sanction belt bodies. They vote on these things. It's politics. People say, well, Ennis going to be the number one IBF guy. No. Then there wasn't a story a couple years ago the IBF got caught. Excuse me. My bad. Wasn't a story going on the other day where the IBF got caught for selling mandatory spots? Yeah, my bad. I clicked off the video by mistake. But wasn't a story a couple years ago the IBF got caught for selling number one and number two and number three spots allegedly? Because I can't remember. So, yeah, that doesn't mean nothing. And just because you number two don't mean you'll be number one. I seen things in the IBF where they got a number 2 and 3 rank guy, but they ain't got a 4 and number 1 guy. So I'll talk about that later. But yeah, people say, well, he could have moved. No, it's not. It's not that easy. Boxing is political, and if you read the rule books state that most of it that's subjective to the sanction belt body, and most times it's a vote. So the reason Crawford moved up for the WBO because it's what Bob ordered. Bob has a closer relationship with the WBO. It's why he's trying to order Lomachenko and George Kambosos. All right, that's why he's trying to order that fight, because he got more pull. So they keep the WBO in the family. So he just couldn't move up and challenge for the WBC and the IBF and the WBO. No, all that's subjective to a vote and a relationship with the promoters. So let's put that to sleep. He couldn't have moved up and fought for the WBC. He tried to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was allowed to hold the belt without activity. Spence tried to fight for that belt earlier and fight Thurman. Everybody was trying to call the sanction belt bodies and get them to strip Keith Thurman. So that don't work that way. Stop listening to, go to sanction belt bodies, read the rules. Most of it is public information to begin with. It's not that easy. So stop believing these guys. So you can't just move up and be like, oh, I'm the mandatory. If that's the case, why Demetrius Andrade can't move up and be Canelo's mandatory? Because Canelo going to drop the belt anyway. In the WBO, want that Canelo bag over anybody else bag, including Demetrius Andrade. So, like I said, Spence, they're not going to order Spence as the mandatory. Even though all the sanction belt bodies met together, it was more of a troll than something that was facts. Because he can just ask them like they did the WBC, and they not gonna order it. Because Alex protected Errol Spence, and Errol Spence is their last pay-per-view kind of whatever they call it. He the last guy they got on pay-per-view that they can say, oh, he's doing okay numbers on pay-per-view by their scale. You know what I'm saying? So, that is what it is at that point. So we already know he not gonna fight Crawford. They could have had Crawford had an under-the-table deal, and Crawford could have been already introduced to PBC. Already he could have been fighting Keith Thurman in January. They don't want that. You know what I'm saying? He's an outsider. And he don't bring what Manny Pacquiao, Canelo bring to the table. That's the difference. All right? If he did, they would sign him quick and throw him in the ring with Errol Spence. But people saying, well, Jaron Ennis going to be number one next. And it don't work that way sometimes. So Jaron Ennis, he may move up and be number one. They might order him to fight a title eliminator He may be Spence mandatory next year. You know, he may be pressuring Spence to fight Crawford or pressuring Spence to fight him. Virgil Ortiz is said to fight David Alvarez in a title eliminator to produce Spence WBC mandatory. So Spence could have a WBC. He could have an IBF mandatory in the near future. We probably talking more 2023 to end of 2022 or middle of 2022. You know what I'm saying? So would that help force him to fight, you know, Terence Crawford? Maybe not. You know, they say cowards float. Maybe not. Who knows? But I got a lot of politicking to do, man. They say Jamal Charlo might move up to 68. Who y'all think moving up to 60? Jamel. I don't care what Jamel say. They plans is probably Jamel to unify the division, move to 60, move Spence to 54. I already know what they going to do. Is it more and more people starting to kind of see Spence is a little rat, a little Rudy Poo, a little scary cat? Yeah, I said that from the beginning. That's all everybody say, even coming out the PBC. You know, the PBC side, they saying he's scared. The Sanctions Belt body saying he's scared. Tell you, we want to make that fight. They don't want to fight. So he just gonna move up anyway. Don't y'all see if Jamal move up, don't be surprised if Jamel move up. Don't be surprised if Spence don't move up. So it don't surprise me they can box him in, but a coward always gonna try to find a way out. And it's sad. It's sad that he won't sit there and fight those guys who fight Terence Crawford. So now what? The IBF mandatory lost now. Now what? They gonna order Crawford probably versus Jaron Ennis for the number one contender in 2023. So he gonna have some time. Virgil Ortiz and Alvarez in probably 2023. You know what I'm saying? Now he can't have behind the mandatory. Now what they gonna say? They gonna find a WBC mandatory to call him. They gonna call Mikey Garcia too. The point of this video, they always find ways to finesse him out of that situation. They gonna say, well, you know, he got a WBO title eliminator to be the mandatory for the Ugas or something. Why they gonna make up something? They best bet is to go ahead, put him in there with Crawford, and then figure it out down the road. Wilder talking retirement, might as well retire Spence and start over from the beginning. You know, put that back and behind the Charlo twins. You know, find a heavyweight in back and put that money behind him. Put that money behind folk. That's their best bet. That's their best bet. You know, unless you're going to do Charlo and Spence. Jamel, I doubt that. But, you know, like I said before, just because the number one guy lost don't mean Ennis is going to be the mandatory, the number one guy. You know, it was a story about them allegedly selling spots. They might order him to fight somebody and Cody Crowley to fight somebody. And they fight each other, and the winners fight each other in the title eliminator in 2023. That's how they do things. Ennis don't have the right backing behind him to get a belt. You know, he close. But they going to try to make him sign with somebody. Which is unfortunate. But yeah, like I said before, is they backing him? Is they boxing him in the corner? No, Spence can do what he want to do. Go to 54, so I can't make the weight no more. Next fight could be a non-title fight at a catchweight of 150, 149, 148, 151. He'll move up and cash out versus Canelo. Say, well, Canelo, you come back down from fighting at Makabuyi Langu. We got the Spence fight. Spence will come up to 68 and, you know, y'all can make some money. He may do that. He got options. But y'all think that he boxing the corner between Ortiz, Ennis, and Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever seen the Avatar Last Airbender when they boxed Azula in and she still found a way? You know, he's a PBC product. He's the last ticket puller they got. Tank, they saying Tank sold 50,000 under sub 5. Some people say sub under 100,000, 50,000. You think they're gonna let their precious Errol Spence go out like that? Who else they got that's gonna pull on pay-per-view? Who else they got to go pull 100? Nobody. And they don't see the financial gain in two black fighters being in the ring together. So it is what it is. We'll see what they come up with, but don't be surprised. They come up with some razzle dazzle. We know how they do. So yeah, let me know what you girls and guys think. Check the welterweight playlist, the box news playlist. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video request, reach out anytime. Links in the description. Want to make a financial donation? Greatly appreciate it. Cash App CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. All the links in the description and information in the description. Mess with a donate, comment, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance notifications go live, drop a video. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. One time for the one time, Goodfellas Sports TV. Peace.